Hello everybody, Anita here with Fuel, Compete, Repeat, and today we're going to discuss grab and go foods for your busy lifestyle with your teen athletes. So just a little background on me so you know why I'm qualified to talk to you about this topic in particular. I not only lived a busy teen athlete lifestyle as a kid, but now I'm doing it as a mom to two busy teen athletes of my own. I know exactly what it's like to have the weekdays, fly by, packed full of practices and games, and then have to squeeze in between all of that feeding your crew. So grab and go foods to the rescue, as I like to say. Today, I'm going to discuss my top grab and go foods for athletes wanting to build and maintain their muscle mass. And the way we're going to do that is I did a little mini training here that I'm going to prepare to show you right now with a screen share. So here it is. Let's talk about grab and go goals. Number one, your food has to travel easy. When you have a busy schedule, when your athlete's on the go all the time, they have to be able to take these things with them and travel. Number two, they need to digest quickly. If your athlete needs food on the go quickly, they need to be able to digest that food and have it readily available for energy as quickly as possible. Number three, we also want that food to give your athlete energy. And then finally, we want that food to help build and recover muscle. So these are the things that we looked at in determining these foods. Please keep in mind that there are a million brands of food out there, and you're not limited to the ones that I'm suggesting here in this mini training. So just pay attention to the guidelines for choosing these particular products, and that will help you make your own decisions at the grocery store, at your own personal grocery store, if the products I'm showing you today aren't available. So let's start with number one, yogurt. So as long as you have an ice pack, you can take some yogurt with you on the go. The best thing about yogurt is that it's very travelable, and you can even find some these days with a little bit more protein in them and not a ton of sugar. So that's the one thing that you want to be careful of, is just look and make sure that it's not full of added sugars. You see here, for example, this one has 4 grams of total sugar. This one has 2. Those are good goals to look for. This one doesn't have any added sugar. We always put a little bit of all fruit jelly in ours. And this is a dairy-free version, and this is the dairy version of what I'm suggesting in terms of yogurt today. Also, you want to make sure that your yogurt isn't full of artificial stuff. So that would be like artificial sweeteners, artificial colors or flavors of any kind. Those things are highly inflammatory to the body, so we want to avoid those because we don't want your athlete all inflamed and sore all the time. Number two, I just titled this topic pouches. Pouches, these transport wonderfully, and as you can see from this particular pouch, it carries 10 grams of protein in it, which is pretty darn good for a little small pouch of liquidy gelatinous food. And the kids seem to really like these. These in particular are vegan, which means they're dairy-free. Our family's dairy-free, so I'm always looking for dairy-free products. I work with a lot of clients who are dairy-free, so you'll find that a lot of my suggestions might tend towards that way, also to reduce inflammation in the body. But if you can have whey and it doesn't impact you, then of course get the other ones, which are whey protein. You just want to be sure on these to look for low sugar, no artificial stuff thrown in there, and it should contain some amount of protein to be a well-rounded, balanced snack that travels well for your athlete. Nuts and seeds, they're always great, but just keep in mind that they do take a little time to digest. They do take longer than, let's say, the pouches, because this is a liquid, it digests a lot faster. This is because it's a healthy fat, it's going to take longer, and it's also going to take longer because it's hard and you have to really chew these down. So chew them well and get them into the body with plenty of time before you have a game or before you have a practice, so that your body has time to digest these things. Okay, you guys know protein is all the rage, and it is definitely important, but the problem is that most ready-to-drink shakes, that's what these are called over here, RTDs, or ready-to-drink shakes, like these, they're missing a key ingredient for muscle recovery that every athlete needs to know. So that's why I created this whole video training on the the particular nutrients that we're talking about here. And I break this down very deeply in this video so that you can make sure your athlete's getting everything that they need. It's not that these are bad, it's just that they're missing some things. So you want to make sure you couple this with some other foods when your athlete's using this, for example, for a post-workout smoothie. You also want to make sure that there's no artificial stuff in these things and that they're grass-fed, as this one is right here. If possible, this one is plant-based. Okay, bars. Everybody loves a bar, and the most transportable athletic food on the earth is probably a bar, right? So the problem is that some bars aren't much better than a candy bar. So be sure that you look for bars with lower sugar amounts, no artificial stuff in it, and you also want to look for bars that contain some amount of protein in them. And hopefully you want to shoot for more than 10 grams. Both of these have more than 10 grams, so that's what we're looking for when we're assessing bars. Now, finally, a good old apple or banana and nut butter pack travels great for athletes. So these are super simple ways to get in some energy in your day. You can throw these in your lunchbox or have these in your sports bag for any time before or after. And because this is nut butter, it will digest a little bit quicker than nuts themselves, because we'll call that, because it's smashed down into a butter form, it's already pre-digested to some degree. So they will digest a little better than whole nuts and seeds, for example. So be sure that your nut butter pouch has some protein in it, like this one here. You can see this one has 9 grams, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty good dose right there. So you might be asking yourself by now, how does Anita determine which products make these types of lists and which products are healthy, which ones aren't? How do I go to the grocery store and pick out these things? And that's when we come in with the skill of label reading, and more importantly, what I like to call ingredient reading. And it is really, truly essential to anyone who wants to improve their nutrition game at all. So we teach a full training on this in our Power 5 Jumpstart package. It's right here, called Foods That Kill Performance. And if you're wondering what is a nutrition training, what exactly is that? It's just like this. It's really similar to what I'm doing here with you. They just tend to be a little bit longer, and they usually come with a workbook. And our trainings are all online, and you can do them at your own pace. So I'll just drop a link for this Power 5 Jumpstart package if that interests you. If this mini training video gave you some new ideas for grab and go foods for your athlete, give us a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to us, because we're going to keep doing more videos just like this coming soon.